Thank you, Mr. President, for the kind words, and it means a lot to the committee and also to the staff and to the members. Those words coming from Senator Lacson, who has been really monitoring, supervising, scrutinizing the budget since time immemorial, Mr. President. And when I was a new senator, I would listen to him intently, interpolating the different sponsors of the budget, Mr. President. And I picked up so many concepts on how to reform the budget, especially making it transparent and open to the public, Mr. President. So thank you very much for the kind words, Senator Lacson.
Yeah, with that said, I will proceed to my interpellation. Yeah, GDP projections are essential in national budgeting because they determine expected government revenues, guide how much the government can responsibly spend, and help maintain sustainable deficit and debt levels. Realistic forecasts ensure programs are funded within fiscal limits, support appropriate policy responses to economic conditions, and uphold the country's credibility with investors and credit rating agencies. In short, itong mga GDP projections set the economic foundation for responsible and strategic budget planning. But as you see on the screen, lagi pong off ang ating projections or targets do sa ating mga accomplishment or yung actual na tinatawag. So, for example, sa 2023, ang nag-target tayo ng 6 to 7% GDP growth rate. But we ended up with an accomplishment of 5.5. Again, in 2024, 6 to 6.5, bahagyang bumagsak sa accomplishment, 5.7. 2025, ang target natin, 6.5 to 8. Nag-adjust pa tayo, naging sa 5.5 to 6.5. Pero ang pagkaalam ko, yung last quarter, I think nasa 4% na lang tayo.
Correct, Mr. President.
Yeah, so again, 2026, meron tayong target. So ang tanong ko, ano po ba yung models at saka indicators na ginagamit natin ng ating mga economic managers to forecast GDP? And how frequently are these projections reviewed?
Well, Mr. President, to explain it simply, the economic managers look at the potential growth of the economy. For example, forecasted foreign direct investments, the growth of the global economy, because that also affects the remittances from our OFWs, which is a main driver of economy. Exports, they also look at exports because it also drives our economy. So they look at the potential that can drive our economy forward. But at the same time, Mr. President, they look at also the headwinds. For example, the impending trade war or impending trade policies of the U.S., which affects global trade and also our exports. Of course, the different conflicts in various parts of the world, in Ukraine, in the Middle East. So those are factored in also in the modeling of our economic growth.
Thank you, Mr. President. But I think the gist of my question is, bakit lagi tayong off? I remember even during the past years, pati yung projection natin sa deficit, projection natin sa borrowings, even yung projections natin sa non-revenue tax collections, laging off, kung hindi sobra kulang. So ang tanong ko, balik ako sa question ko, bakit ganun? Bakit po laging off? Hindi pa tayo tumatama? Kaya kaya nga ang tanong ko, anong models or indicators ang ginagamit? Well, you answered that, ano? But I think they must be reviewed by the economic managers para makachamba man lang tayong tumama doon sa ating projection, doon sa ating na-accomplish or actual.
But personally, Mr. President, I share the same observation by the good Senator Lacson. Ang personal take ko is, of course, the economic, and pardon me for saying this, the economic managers and people in government will always show us the most optimistic, most rosy picture, Mr. President. Of course, this is also signaling to the entire country and the entire population that we are going forward and we have good fundamentals to go forward. But of course, the reality will say otherwise, especially things that they cannot predict, in fairness to the economic managers. They told me that modeling and forecasting is not exact science because there are a lot of things that are unpredictable, one of which, Mr. President, will be the flood control issue that was exposed during the SONA and eventually exploded into many facets of governance. So those things cannot be predicted, but it can affect public sentiment, affect economic growth, as well as business sentiment, Mr. President. But I'm sure the economic managers are listening right now, and they are advised to sharpen their modeling, Mr. President, so that the actual growth will be at least within the bounds of the projected growth, Mr. President.
Well, thank you. Let's leave it at that. But, you know, a related question would be, how do our economic managers reconcile variations between projected and actual GDP growth when formulating our annual budget? Paano natin ma-reconcile para medyo ika nga ay maging accurate ng konti? Kasi ang napag-aralan namin sa military, especially sa operations, Mr. President, pag sumablay ang assumptions mo, medyo posibleng maging disastrous yung operation, ano? Kasi mali ang assumptions. In the same manner, when we talk of the economy of our country, pag mali yung projection mo, mamamali lahat yung i-input mo, like magpo-project ka ng yung responsible spending, ano, sa expenditures. Magpo-project ka ngayon ng revenues, magpo-project ka ng budget. Pag mali-mali yung assumptions o yung projections, medyo may effect din yan in the long term or even in the medium term. Hindi po ba?
Well, Mr. President, ako personally, Mr. President, I look at the band whenever the country will present their forecast for the next year or the following year. I look at the band. Pag malaki po yung band, katulad po sa 2025, ang target 6.5 to 8%. That's a almost 1.5% band. I think it's a signal that marami pong uncertainties na hindi ho mapipredict this coming year. No? For example, the conflict in the Middle East, if that spiraled, that will also affect the price of oil, and we all know we import almost 95% of our oil, and that will affect us as well. No? So I think the economists and the economic managers will try to factor in all the headwinds that can happen this coming new year and factor in the effect of those headwinds to our economy, and drill it down one by one. What are the components that can affect each and every of our facets of our economy? For example nga ho, yung sa Middle East, kung meron pong conflict of Middle East, ang unang-unang tinitignan ho nila yung price of oil. Pag tinignan ho nila pag ang price of oil ay pwedeng sumipa ho, then i-drill down ho nila yan sa logistics. For example, delivery po ng food, delivery po ng goods, at meron din ho yan effect sa inflation. So those are the modeling that they take into consideration, but sometimes or most of the time may mga events na cannot be predicted accurately, Mr. President.
Thank you, Your Honor. It's good that you mentioned these unpredictable variables. So that brings me to my next question on this topic. ano yung level ng confidence ng pagdating sa uncertainty dito naman sa 2026 projections? Kasi napakarami po, no? Meron tayong, hindi natin na-foresee yung puputok itong flood control anomalies, ano? Projects anomalies. Hindi natin na po-project yung policy ng United States, ano? When President Trump took over. Ito yung mga unpredictable na variables, yung mga tariff and all, ano? Pati yung Middle East, pati yung sa Ukraine. So these are variables that, hindi naman natin mapipredict kung ano talaga magiging kahinatnan or maging outcome. So ano yung margin of confidence? Ano yung level of confidence natin doon sa mga uncertainties for the purpose of the 2026 national budget or GAA?
Well, Mr. President, Secretary Balisacan mentioned that it's really challenging to forecast 2026 in light of the flood control issue and also issues in the current investigations. So the DBCC will meet first week of December to talk about this again, to factor in all of these things that are happening. Admittedly, Mr. President, yung lawak nitong flood control issue, wala pong nakakita eh. Marami hong parang we were all caught off guard sa lawak at sa laki nitong flood control issue. And until now, ongoing pa rin po yung pangyayari. We're still discovering many things every day, Mr. President. So because of that uncertainty, the DBCC will once again meet this coming first week of December. They will talk about, of course, this flood control issues and other issues that is affecting the global economy, Mr. President.
Yes, and there goes another problem, Mr. President. As of June 30 this year, ang ating unused appropriations, compared to, please show it on the screen, 828.4, this is billion, pesos, not million. Compared to total available appropriations of 7.154 trillion. So, ito, June 30, hindi pa po pumuputok ang flood control project anomalies, And I assume, dahil nag-slow down tayo sa infra spending, di ba? So, hindi masyadong gagalaw itong unused appropriations natin. And we're talking of 828 billion pesos as of June 30. So, saan tayo pupunta by year end, anong projected unused appropriations natin pagdating ng December? While you're thinking, Mr. President, sundan ko na rin ang question. Ano ba yung percentage share sa ating economy ng government spending? How many percent? Government spending. That's in the vicinity of 16-17%, Your Honor. More.
I'll just answer first the last question of Senator Lacson. Government spending is about 25% of our economy, Mr. President. 25. So one-fourth of our economy comes from government spending.
Household consumption, ilang percent?
Senator Recto requested to break down. So the 25%, if you break it down, the 21% comes from national government.
That's the budget.
That's the budget that we are appropriating. 1% comes from the LGUs and another 2% comes from the GOCC. So more or less, mga around 24-25%.
Yeah, pero sa infra spending, ilang percent of the